You may know him as Tommy Gunn from the movie Rocky V.
Yeah, let's do it.
But real-life boxer Tommy Morrison trained in Knoxville under Ace Miller in preparation for his WBO Heavyweight Championship match against George Foreman in 1993.
You know, my dad was really funny about when he came home. He left the gym here. But I remember him coming in and telling us that Tommy Morrison was coming to learn Dad's defense training.
Ace was renowned in the boxing world for his training prowess, and Morrison's arrival in Knoxville created quite the buzz.
And when he first came, it was kind of a hype. We had a lot of people coming in to watch. Some of the old boxers will still talk about those days. It was exciting, and there was always a crowd of people around to watch.
Morrison's head trainer, Tom Vergett's regiment, was a stark contrast to that of Miller's.
Tom used a number system to train, which I would come down and watch. It was very intriguing just because I'd never seen anything like that. He used numbers for punches, like 1, 2, 3, 3, 6, 8, and that was just odd to me. It was difficult for him to learn Dad's teaching mechanisms, but it didn't take him long. He picked it up pretty good.
Tommy did more than just train during his time in Knoxville. He helped out some local fighters at the Golden Gloves.
He was in there training with us, and it gave me that confidence about myself, saying, well, I was in there and I sparred with him, and he do got a great left hook. It wasn't the fastest hook for him to be a heavyweight. So, it gives me that confidence saying, well, he was a great fighter, and I'm glad that I trained with him, worked out with him.
And his presence even helped quell an unruly crowd.
SAE had a sponsored fraternity show that year when he was here, and he even kind of got interested in that, watched some of the kids, gave some advice to the guys that were boxing that year. But he sat at ringside, and they started throwing water bottles because they disagreed with the decision, and he was sitting right beside me. Well, I started ducking, and he just jumps up, and he almost thought, you would have thought he was going to take down the whole house. Like, he just immediately turned around to everybody and started yelling, "Stop!" And everybody just kind of commanded to what he said.
Ace's daughter and Morrison were kindred spirits when it came to their love of Elvis. Tommy, however, may have had her beat with his dedication to the king of rock and roll.
Dad says, "Go ahead, show her." And he just dropped his drawers right there and showed me his Elvis tattoo on his butt. And it was a perfect portrait face of Elvis Presley. And I just laughed.
Jokes aside, Morrison took his time in Knoxville seriously.
It was as if it was a job to him, like he was accomplishing work. And it was hard to watch him even in the movie with Rocky, because you see him there and you think, I just sat with him, but he's on Rocky, But he was friendly and he was a nice guy. He just didn't extend himself too much as long as he was here. And maybe that's because he knew Dad was pretty tough.
Round number 1.
Here we go, Tim. I think we're going to find out early just how Tommy Morrison handles George's left jab.
June 7th, 1993. Tommy's match against George Foreman had arrived. Morrison abandoned his normal aggressive style for a more defensive one and boxed Foreman for the entire 12 rounds.
For the winner and new champion, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
The fight may not have been pretty, but Morrison won a unanimous decision and the WBO Heavyweight Championship. Ace wasn't paid for his time training Morrison, but the payoff may have been worth it, as the Knoxville News-Sentinel editor John Adams credited Miller's teaching as what led Tommy Morrison to victory.